Hey everybody, it's Chris from Guilty Words, where we unravel crime one word at a time. Welcome to the last installment in our series on Ruby Franke's diary, and thank you for joining me on this journey. Today we see Ruby escalating beyond control as she tries to subdue E and R in preparation for the move. And we see the triumph of a young boy whose spirit couldn't be broken and who had an escape that was seen round the world. Let's take a look at this together. In the next two entries, which are the last ones before R was finally able to escape and save himself and his sister, I want you to pay attention to his physical decline and the increased violence of Ruby towards him now that he has confessed and is in despair. Before we do that, I want to go over what physically happens with dehydration and malnutrition, the side effects of it, because you'll see that in R. And this is just a list I got from ChatGPT. Impaired physical function, reduced muscle strength, fatigue, difficulty performing daily tasks, changes in mood, depression, anxiety, irritability, and lethargy. Impaired cognitive function, poor concentration, attention deficits, and confusion. Skin and hair changes, dry skin, hair, lips and mouth, and pale skin. Slowed healing, wounds take longer to heal and infections are more likely. Weight loss, loss of fat or muscle mass, and hollowed cheeks or eyes. Gastrointestinal issues, diarrhea, and changes in pancreatic function and intestinal blood flow. Immobility, increased risk of falls and pressure ulcers. Organ failure, dehydration and malnutrition can lead to major medical events like heart attack, stroke, and organ failure, and death. In severe cases, dehydration and malnutrition can be fatal. August 16th, 2023. Day 2 of R jumping on a mini trampoline. He needs lots of help with balance and coordination. Today I asked him to take off one sock by balancing on the opposite foot, lift one foot up and remove the sock while staying balanced. He fell over, hit his nose on the ground and began bleeding. I gave him a wet rag to wipe his face and toilet paper. He dabbed his face merely to smear the blood. Then he blew his nose so harshly through the toilet paper he got new blood on his face and all over his shirt. The easiest exercises he has asked to do, he refuses, with the decrepit stature you would expect of a 90-year-old. He plays completely helpless. His body is full of evil, puffy, infection, and he won't participate in the responsibility of flushing it out. R's life's meaning and purpose has been, don't get caught. And now that he's caught, he wants to be done with life. He feels he has no meaning. And then there's a half a page redacted from the rest of the century. He's showing all the physical effects of severe malnutrition and dehydration. But to her, he's playing at being completely helpless, just like E was purposely slipping at the bottom of the stairs when she's carrying heavy boxes and books all day long. And he's jumping on a mini trampoline, and she says day 2, meaning he's already spent one entire day jumping on this trampoline, and now it's a second day of it. She says he's full of infection, evil and puffy. I think it might be a literal puffiness from real infections, not necessarily a spiritual one the way she means. August 21st, 2023. Poking is a strategy technique R seems to respond to. Poking, pouring cold water, and towel whip. August 22nd, 2023. First day R soaked, jumped as told. He did wet his pants twice. God pelted hail from the heavens. He is poking R as well. R stayed jumping. Hail in August in St. George is a mystery, a heavenly validation of this intervention. And then what follows is 6 completely redacted pages of whatever happened between August 22nd and R's brave and miraculous escape on August 30th. August 27th, 2023, Sunday. A visited for a week last week. I picked her up Sunday the 20th and took her home to Springville on Friday. Jay and someone, Pam and I, packed 20 boxes and took them to a storage shed in Springville. A gave her 2 weeks' notice. R spent the 22nd to the 25th peeing and pooping. He is out of control. He is defiant, abusive, and mean. He refuses to do what he is asked. Just when I think we found a technique that will work, R digs in and fights harder. Willing to try anything that would grab his attention, I whipped him with a belt yesterday. E, too. She peed all over Jody's garage floor, screamed at her, and lied to her. She is out of control. E seemed to give me her attention after the whipping. She swept the garage with some muscle and mopped it. She did a good job. R increased his defiance. Fascinating to me that they can have a visitor in the house for an entire week and yet keep these kids so isolated that this visitor doesn't have any idea what's going on. And not only that, but that Ruby can compartmentalize going in and dealing with the son who's probably locked in a closet or a soundproof room, maybe that vault room, and deal with his pooping and peeing and how upset she is about that, and then go back up and politely have company and pack some boxes getting ready for the move. It's bizarre. The kids are both escalating their behaviors. Odds are they know something's up. They know the boxes are being packed, or maybe they've been told that they're moving. And at some level they realize that it's only going to be worse after they move. And she is feeling more desperate. So she calls both kids out of control. She starts whipping with a belt. And E seemed to give me her attention after the whipping. Seemed to. Not entirely sure she really was paying attention to me, but the whipping helped a little bit. Such a casual tone for such a harsh punishment. Now we're going to see the video clips of R's successful escape, and I'll do some commentary over them. I've left them at real time so you can see how long he had to wait at each door that he tried. And also, in the house where he has the successful escape, the video is chopped into 3 different pieces, and there's some missing time when he was interacting with the homeowners. That's actually the way the police released it. There isn't one solid Ring doorbell video from the moment he rang the doorbell till the ambulance arrived. So I've shared what is available. This is R approaching the first house he tried. You can't hear it on the video, but there is music playing, so apparently they couldn't hear the doorbell. But he politely rings the doorbell. And look at how thin his legs are, and you can see the duct tape around his ankles and how that shirt hangs on him. Notice how long he waits and how patiently he waits. He tries knocking, but he can't seem to get the attention of the people inside. Imagine how he feels, terrified any moment Ruby or Jody will drive back into the driveway and see him standing there. He can hear people in there, help is in there, but he just can't get their attention. And finally, he walks away to try another house. R approaches this house, and as you can see, it's at 10:46 a.m. He waits, but here no one answers at first either. He gets the machine.
Answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Imagine how discouraged he feels. But this time he doesn't wait long. He might be afraid he's running out of time, so he starts heading for the next house.
Yes.
Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors.
Well, what are they?
Taking me to the nearest police station. Well, actually, just one's fine.
What's going on, son? Have a seat there.
It's personal business.
Have a seat. What's your name? How'd you get here? He has duct tape around
big
each ankle.
injuries, there's sores around them.
Yeah, there's sores around him. I think the good chance he's been...
He also has
and he has it around his
wrist
ankle.
as well.
I mean, his wrist as well. Okay, this boy has been...
Needs immediate attention. Oh, you were such a good kid.
This kid is obviously been... I think he's hungry and he's been young, he's carrying his stocking feet. So he escaped.
We need the police here now.
They're on the way.
You don't have any allergies to that? Okay.
I hear a car, but they're not coming in the driveway.
From the police reports. I asked the juvenile his name, and he said Child 1. Medical personnel arrived and tended to Child 1. I took photos of Child 1's wrists and ankles while medical unwrapped them. Child 1 had wounds on the front and back of his ankles and wrists. I observed Child 1 was very emaciated. Medical personnel told me when they were trying to remove the bandages on Child 1, his skin was coming off. Medical personnel placed the plastic wrap and duct tape in 4 separate paper bags and labeled which extremity they were from. When the ambulance arrived, the emergency personnel tried to remove the duct tape, but in the meantime, they noticed he also had duct tape on both wrists. At that time, Child 1 said it was his fault. He had duct tape on him. From the police reports. I asked Child 1 how long the plastic wrap and duct tape were on his legs and wrists. He said since last night. I asked him why they were put on, and he said it because the gashes were there and it was supposed to help. Child 1 said he got the wounds on his wrists and ankles from being tied to the ground with ropes. I asked Child 1 who put the ropes on him, and he said his mother and neighbor Jody did, and they told him it was supposed to help him with what he had been choosing. Child 1 said his mother and Jody covered his wounds with cayenne pepper and honey. From the police reports. Officers entered the residence to conduct a protective sweep and to locate the 2 sisters who were said to still be in the house. During the protective sweep, approximately 11:52 hours, Child 2 was found sitting in a bedroom walk-in closet on the main floor. I observed that Child 2's hair was cut short and had a similar appearance to. Her legs, arms, and face were slim, and she appeared to be malnutrition. I stayed with Child 2 while officers completed the protective sweep of the house. From the police reports. On August 31, 2023, I received the medical reports for Child 1 and Child 2 from Julie Cole with the Washington County Children's Justice Center. In the medical report for Child 1, it states that the return of this child to the hands of the caregiver who caused these injuries may result in further injury or death. The reports for Child 2 and Child 1 both discuss the extreme level of malnourishment of each of the kids. As many of you know, R's escape and the subsequent investigation into Ruby and Jody has had ripple effects around the world, whether it's re-examining our child abuse laws and social services protections, to the role of the Mormon Church, or religious extremism in general, to the roles of parenting and family vlogging. And it certainly has stirred up a lot individually for people, as pieces of what happened may remind us of pieces that happened in our own lives. I guess one of my biggest concerns is so much I've seen online about how R&E will need years of therapy and how damaged they must be from this. To R&E, or to anyone who's suffered extreme abuse like this, I just want to share a phrase that helped me a lot in a healing journey that I took. And that's to remember that you are not your trauma. Trauma is something that happened to you, but you are a person. You are an individual who deserves love and respect and the opportunity to give that as well. You are not your trauma. And for R&E, they have shown themselves to be incredibly bright, courageous, talented, kind. Yes, there will be things that need to be processed through this. There's no way there couldn't be. But I think that they are much more than their trauma, and that they can have wonderful lives, like most people who have been through something and are willing to do the work to process it and still grow. Thank you for sharing your time with me, and I appreciate the hours that you've spent learning about this diary with me as we've explored it together. And there's plenty more to come, and lots of other trials have been going on while we've been doing this. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe and share. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate that. And until I see you in the next video, please use your words wisely and well. Take care.